Expedition 33. That's it. That's the video. Okay, see
That's
you
the
all
video.
later.
Welcome back to the channel under the name of insert title name here.
Well, we're still the Warren Rascals. We're still the Warren Rascals.
We are still the Warren Rascals.
We are.
We haven't abandoned that. Anywho, 2025.
2025.
That was a fucking year.
It was.
I'm gonna before we get into it, because normally we do the whole
Mhm.
rundown of the show. Um, gonna be honest, the first half of the year was kind of poopy. Second half of the year, not so poopy.
It the thing that
Soft.
so like 2023 was everything was big, everything was crazy, everything was awesome. And then 2024 was kind of realistically 2024 was fine being a lower year. It was a more let's just kind of calm down. Let's calm down a little bit. In my opinion, 2025 felt like every genre had like a really good game, but that was it. Like I never
Good
like
game.
I was never struck like, oh my God, this game, but it was like every genre felt like it had something good. Like even like genres and franchises that like maybe we don't play anymore or people make
Hmm.
fun of. Like there was a lot of that too. Um And it seemed like all across the board, it was like solid. I do agree with you. It seems like it took a little bit to get to, because I was looking at the kind of just the year in general, and I was like very shocked to see how, I guess, low key that it was. Because as I'm
I
as
love
I'm
Thor.
as I'm scrolling, the first thing that I see that really is anything to really talk about is a game that is a part of the conversation when it comes to how big of a year it was to open up February, which is Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. This was really like the first big like game everyone talked about in the year.
Yeah.
Um,
How dare you disrespect Hello Kitty Island Adventure though?
you know, I'm sorry, don't come after
N-
me.
No. We both have not played this game. I did buy the first one for like $2. So at some point I'll play it, but it's another RPG on the list of RPGs that I'm not gonna get to right now because I said to myself, what am I gonna do at the beginning of the year? I'm gonna go back and play Fallout New Vegas because
It's
I'm a
true.
fucking
I
simpleton.
I was gonna say it's true. I can recall that. I'm a witness. Avowed came out, which was a game that was so I don't know if I want to say like I don't want to necessarily say it wasn't.
Speaking of fucking Obsidian,
Yeah, like I don't know if it was a situation that it was like so anticipated, but I think it was like it started off one way and then it kind of went another way, and then by the time it came out, I don't even know if the game's good or not because I've heard so many differing opinions. I'm like,
I don't know if you can even say anticipated because they fucking didn't put shit out until like the week before the game came out.
well, that
Like,
is also being owned by Microsoft as
yeah,
well.
well, you also forgot that Civ 7 dropped like a week before that as well. Shout out to all the people that like those games.
Oh yeah, that's a thing.
Yeah, not us, because fucking we don't have the patience for that.
Split Fiction.
Yeah.
Haze Light, the goat of the co-op games. It's funny how this game has kind of gotten like a bad rep now because people are so annoyed with the two of them
Because there's women.
because there's women, which honestly, I played Wolfenstein Youngblood, and let me tell you, that is definitely much, much worse than Split Fiction's writing, just so you know, just so you know.
Yeah, I never had a problem with any of the writing. It's just more so like, okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
It was just like
Yeah.
fine. Like it never bothered me, but I was never like, ah.
There was much more creative going on than the writing, I'll say that. I
Gosh.
didn't hate the writing. It's just more so that everything else going on around it was cooler.
The hell is this game? Is it wrong to try and pick up girls in a dungeon? Full land of
Oh, yeah,
Iron. Like, what is that?
that's a fucking anime, dude.
That's funny.
Yeah,
I'm just like,
man.
because I'm like slowly, you do a good job at pointing out games. And I'm like, oh shit, I didn't even talk about that. But I'm scrolling. I'm like, what is that?
I guess speaking of fucking uh first half of the year being kind of shit, Assassin's Creed Shadows happened.
Hey, that was the one I was looking at.
Poopy soft, baby, poopy soft.
Speaking of things people hate because it's woke.
Yeah, that's the reason why it's bad.
Yeah.
Oh man. What was the last Assassin's Creed game that you fully played, Brian? Because it doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't matter because I was going to say, honestly, it doesn't matter because at a certain point I said, even if these games are good, they're just not for me anymore. It became that Ubisoft open world template like Far Cry where it's like, yes, these games, they're fine, but it's too much. And obviously they did the one with the guy from Sonic as the lead. I'm trying to think, what was that one called? Mirage? The smaller one?
Oh, yeah, that was Mirage.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
And
where
I
they
was,
said we're trying to go back to our roots, and it's like
yeah.
you do that every like 3, 4 years when you're like, oh yeah, we don't have any more ideas, which you don't clearly because fucking here we are with Assassin's Creed
This
Shadows.
definitely falls in the Assassin's Creed games of like I don't remember really hearing bad things, but also I've not heard anything about it since it came out.
Yeah,
So
it fucking isn't on the level of Assassin's Creed 2 on praise, but it's also not on the level of Assassin's Creed Unity of what the fuck is this garbage.
and that's the last Assassin's Creed game I played was Unity.
That's funny. The last one I played was 3, and
Yeah.
I will probably, you know, depending if they ever get that 4 remake out,
The
you know,
worst kept secret in gaming right now.
I mean, it's fine. They'll just cancel it like they did fucking everything else. Adam Fall came out. That was a game
Fall
that,
was the next one I was looking at too.
yeah, I heard
It's a
that was
game
pretty good.
Eric was sort of looking into. I've actually been wanting to play it. At some point I will because I've
I
heard good
mean,
things.
I think it's on the tier of Game Pass that I have, if I'm
Mhm.
correct.
Yeah, I think it went down. It's down a tier two now.
It's
So,
going down, down. Uh, I guess I'm gonna just swing into April unless you have something else from
oh no no no
March.
no no. I'm
Uh,
in April as
uh,
well.
South of Midnight, baby. You played that game.
I did. It was actually shot. It was actually going to be my first review for the channel. Um, let's just say we'll get into that game a little bit.
Okay, okay, okay. Well, then coming up, we have a
Blueprints, which
yeah.
we have to talk about because this has been. I remember this game first came out and it got the most rave reviews, and I said, "Try it. It is a good game. It is well made. I think it's fucking terrible."
I it is not for me.
No,
I yeah,
not for
because
me.
I recently played it and I gave it a good couple hours, and it's just not for me
No.
personally. I get what the intention is. I think
Hmm.
there's some intrigue to it. I'm a guy, I've introduced Brian to some games that are like in a similar vein of it.
Hmm.
Remains of Edith Finch for God's sakes is like an example of that.
Yeah.
Um, clearly there's like similar themes to that in that type of way. I just don't like the structure of, oh hey, you kind of have to figure it out yourself in a sense. And that's not me. That's maybe I'm just bad, to be fair. I could also just be bad at the fucking game. But yeah, no, I just there's just something about it. It's like, yeah, this isn't clicking. This isn't
Yeah.
clicking. But I can
Uh,
appreciate all the
yeah.
praise.
No, again, that's one of those things where I could say that it sucks just because I know that it's really good. It just sucks for me. Like I'm like, I get it. It's just not for me.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. Oh,
All
well,
right. And then we can
let's get
yeah.
it. I didn't realize I thought it came out in May, but we're
I thought it
the
came out in
game.
fucking June. It apparently was April.
Uh the everything everywhere all at once, as I call it, of gaming this year. Claire Obscure Expedition 33. The little game that could.
Yeah, we'll talk about it later.
We'll talk about it later for sure. But yeah, that was a game that, obviously was being talked about for years. It finally came out,
Mhm.
and then it was just kind of like the slow build of just everyone was like, it's good, it's great. Oh my gosh. Um,
I'm gonna come.
yeah.
A little game we'll talk about that came out the end of it that we actually played before its official release.
Oh yes.
Fragpunk finally
Yes.
dropped. I've heard that it's much better than when we played it, and we didn't really even hate when we played it.
No,
We just
I thought it was different enough for me to where I just think it's one of those free to play games. It's hard to kind of be like, I love this. It's like
it's not X-Define, I know.
I brought up
Change it.
doing reviews. We're in May now.
Oh yeah, this happened.
Doom the Dark Ages. Um,
I
Not
don't think you
two
have
of
much
it.
to say
A spoiler,
because
it's not in my runners up or my game of the year.
oh, I didn't
It's a
play
new
it.
game. We're in June now. Uh,
Yeah. Well, June was the launch of the Nintendo Switch 2.
yes.
We
So
could
this
talk
is
about that for a little bit since we've both owned one because we're
yes.
fucking shills.
That was probably. Let's see. I honestly let me. You know what? You start talking about, or no? There's other games to talk. Oh, there's definitely a game to talk about coming
Hey,
up.
you could talk. Actually, never mind. I'm gonna speak.
So yeah, so the Switch 2, obviously, it's the first time now since 2020 that we've gotten a new console. So it's been kind of a while. We haven't even had the channel since there's been a new console launch. So it was kind of cool that it happened during this. Um, and it was definitely, I'll have some more thoughts too, as well, on certain things that came out for the Switch too. But I will say that it was something where it was weird to me that I told Eric, Wario 64 was posting, oh, they're getting rid of the Mario Kart bundle. That's why it's like on sale everywhere. And I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get it now. And
Yeah.
then fucking Donkey Kong Bonanza, they were getting rid of at Costco and it was on sale for 35 bucks. I'm like, I didn't think you could do that. But
You can put
okay,
a
I'll go
Nintendo
find
Switch
it.
game on sale?
Like,
What is this
in
world?
like the first half a year that it came out too. So
Right.
what is this
Well,
madness?
I'll tell you this. Something happened the day after the Nintendo Switch 2 dropped that we both played. It's called Splitgate 2.
It's not even called Splitgate 2
It's
anymore. It's
not
called
even called that
Splitgate
anymore.
Arena Reloaded, which um
That's a mouthful if I've
it
ever
is a
heard one
mouthful
myself.
and it was a thing that happened and 4 days later the best game of the year came out, Mind's Eye. And
That's crazy
mhm,
because like a week later from that, a week and some change after that, actually the best game ever came out. FBC
Fire
Firebreak.
Break, that is true.
Fucking garbage. One of the worst experiences I had last year. Remedy, what the fuck were you thinking?
For Eric to hate a multi-part more than Rainbow Six, that's impressive. That's pretty impressive.
It takes a lot out of me to do that. I genuinely regret ever playing that. Yeah, oof. Apparently there was a Persona 5 game that dropped I didn't care about. Anyway,
Wow.
yeah,
Uh,
that's also it's a fucking phone game, you know. So, uh,
Stupid fucking phone.
July 1st.
Whoa, 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 whoa,
Oh, you have
whoa, whoa,
something. You have
whoa,
something.
whoa, whoa. How are you gonna disrespect Hideo Kojima like that, boy? Death
Oh yeah,
Stranding
that
2 came out at
I
the end.
mean Jeff Keighley disrespected him by not giving him any awards at the Game Awards, you know, so and he's like his best friend.
Oh, oh. I've not played the first one, so I've not
Neither
played
have
the second
I.
one, and I want to, but I haven't played them yet. Were you gonna bring up another game we played that
Another
came
game.
out July
We played a
1st?
lot of games that came out last year, apparently, that I realized we played.
Mecha Break. It was fun.
You know, at first it was pretty mid, and then we played that other game mode, and I was like, holy shit, this is actually kind of fun.
That's true.
It
That
was like, why'd it take, a different game mode to be like, all right, I'm into
almost a
this.
whole shoot. Tony
All
Hawk's Pro
right.
Skater 3 and 4 came out, which I didn't think was going to happen because I thought they canned that because the first one didn't do so well, or they just didn't want to do it. But now Microsoft is just like, we own you, so you'll do what we want.
You'll do it until we
You'll
close you
do it.
down.
You'll do it. Um,
But then Monkey Time, July 17th, Monkey Banana.
mhm.
Uh, I do have more to say on it later, because
Yes, yes,
okay,
I do.
I'll let you to it. I'll just say I very much enjoyed it. I haven't fully 100% beat it, but it's a good game. I very much enjoy it.
Yes.
Anyway, Monkey. September, baby.
The biggest joke in the gaming industry that was the equivalent of Frank Ocean. Are you ever going to put out another album? Hollow Knight Silk Song. It finally happened. It's real, and I'm going to spoil it. It is not my game of the year, and it's not in my runners up because I have not beaten it because it's pissed me off. Watch the Nakey Jakey video because it's very accurate.
I haven't played it because I haven't beat the original Hollow Knight, and I've owned it. I've owned the original Hollow Knight longer than Brian took to play the original Hollow Knight and beat the original Hollow Knight.
That's
That says
true.
a lot. Um, Anywho, Garfield Kart 2 came out September 10th. Genius.
Hmm.
Um, Next up,
Borderlands.
Borderlands 4.
Mhm.
That was a thing that came out last year, and
It
I've
did.
heard so much mixed shit on that that it's so funny that you know, we played three on the channel
Yes.
because the greatest movie of all time came out last year, Borderlands. But we played three, and then we knew at that time that four was announced or was just about to be announced. I think it was one or the other because was it Summer Game Fest that year that they
Yeah, it was
announced.
one of those. I don't know which one, but
Yeah, but there was just no excitement. And then like the game came out and it was just like my camera's doing that thing again. You pointed that out and it's doing that thing and I just
go for
saw
it.
it. You were I maybe I was gaslighting you, maybe I was gaslighting myself. Who knows? Um, Marvel Rivals apparently got ported to the PS4. That's crazy. We're still doing that in our year Lord and Savior 2025.
Yeah. Okay, September 25th. Okay, listen. I understand now because let's go through these games. Ready? It gets better and better every game I'm going to say. And Eric's going to agree with me. Ready? Hades 2, Silent Hill F, Sonic Racing Crossworlds, and the best one of them all, Sworn.
Dude, what a day to be alive. October 2nd, a game we both didn't play, nor have we played the original.
Why are
Uh,
you're a game we didn't play? It's like
but
every
we've
game
heard
is,
good
yeah, we haven't
things, you
played it.
know? It's nominated for fucking the Dice Award and not fucking Jeff Keighley's awards,
That is
even
very
though it
true.
had just as many awards as like half the fucking other nominees. Ghost of Yote, Sucker Punch said, let's make another one.
October 9th, there's a game that came out that I have yet to play, and I've heard really good things about it. It's called Absolum,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and I've heard very good things about it, and it's a game that I want to get to at some point, but as of right now,
You telling me there's
unfortunately,
a game that came out October 7th called King of Meat and no one told us about it?
it's a dungeon
Crazy.
crawler. It's from Amazon.
Yeah.
Candy
Wizard
Party Perfect.
Wizard 101 got ported to the consoles. Shout out to Wizard 101. Battlefield 6. We kind of played that.
Yes, Battlefield 6, rest in peace to the GOAT.
You're acting like the game's
Hella.
dead.
Um, Yeah, this was kind of what I alluded to earlier, where I said like this game came out and I was like, Eric, Battlefield 6 is like getting good reviews. But it was the same. Like campaign's kind of dumb, but the multiplayer was pretty good. I was like, oh,
Yeah, I enjoyed the free-to-play multiplayer they added on. October 10th apparently was very disappointing if you were a fan of Little Nightmares because Little Nightmares 3 came out and not a
Mhm.
lot of people liked it.
Nope,
Sucks to suck, I guess. It happens. You know, it can't all be winners.
no.
October 15th. You like balls? You like pits?
We'll talk about that in a little bit.
We played that on the channel. October 16th, they came out with the Pokemon game. Heard it wasn't good. Anyway, Ninja Gaiden 4 came out October
Yo,
21st.
yo,
Oh, sorry.
go to youtube.com/keeper if you want my
Slash Keeper.
/keeper/channel BK if you want my multi-part keeper playthrough. It was pretty great. It is not my runners up or game of the year, but it is a very nice, quaint little game.
No, I'll play it when it comes to Game Pass, and I'm sure actually they probably might drop it sooner because of how little of a game it is. But hey, it didn't end up closing the studio because they did announce a new game. So hey, Double Fine, you're safe for now.
For now.
October 22nd, fucking Dispatch launched its first episode. I'll have more to say on that later.
As Eric said, the free-to-play mode Battlefield Red Set came out at the end of October.
Mhm.
Let's see here. Is that
November
oh,
5th.
you just missed you missed one big game and one like Outer Worlds 2, October 29th. And the day
Oh, yeah,
after,
because that's how fucking little people give a shit about that game too.
and then the day after, everyone's favorite AI video game, Arc Raiders.
Oh yeah, we're not gonna play it.
Hip
You
hip
actually have to
hooray.
pay. You have to pay money for that. Oh, Cosmic Invasion, December 1st. I guess because nothing else really came out at the end of November. December 8th, Brian. YouTube.com/skate story/channel BK.
Yep. I did a multi-part of Skate Story. Hey, Eric,
Hey, Brian.
you want to know what my game of the year is?
Well, do you have any runners up?
I sure do. I always got mad at you after 2017. You're like, I have multiple. I'm like, why didn't I fucking do that the years before? There are so
Uh,
many years that I could have
How
had
many do you
multiple.
have? Because
I don't have 6 to 7, unfortunately, if that was.
so you have four runners up in one game of the year.
Mhm.
Okay, so do I. So do I.
Sure. Yes, I sure do. My first runner up, South of Midnight. Compulsion Games has had this problem with, I think they are a really interesting studio, but they have so many ideas and they've all been kind of weird and they don't mix well, but they do mix well. And it's this time around they said, let's make the gameplay simple, let's make the art style really cool, and let's make a good story. Don't go to this game thinking you're going to get the most innovative brawler. I think it plays very well. It's very nice. I think the voice acting's great and it's a very cool story. It was weird playing this game and then going to see Sinners because there's a lot of stuff in those two that kind of like they talk about and I'm like, "Oh, I
Yeah,
know what you're
vampires.
talking about now."
They talk about vampires.
Yeah. So it was cool. And then I like it feels like a bigger budget, like a longer version of a like 360 game where it's like it definitely feels that kind of thing where it's like a mission to a mission to a mission. Some cool boss battles, some innovative fighting here and there. I liked it. Um my next game, Bollock's Pit. It is
Ooh.
Vampire Survivors, but you break bricks and you bounce balls. Like it's one of those things where Vampire Survivors to me is so good and I play this and I go,
But
"Yeah,
nothing else can be like it.
it's just the same thing, but I think they do enough with the resource management, and I think the art style and the music's fun. Uh,
Hmm.
I think it's cool. Um, next, it was a game I've actually brought up before. Sword of the Sea.
Hmm.
This game I've never played Journey or anything, and this game was
I thought
like
you were about to say this game I never played before.
yeah, I just it's on my is runners up. Let me tell you, I have never had a feeling like this in a game. It was so just visually, it's gorgeous. It's on PlayStation Plus, so you should definitely check it out. It's like you're just skating
Hmm.
through the desert and you can do like tricks and stuff. And I love the feedback on the remote. It's really cool. But again, it's gorgeous. The music's great. It's very just spiritual. Um, it's just
Hmm.
one of those games where, like, again, like we talk about how there's so many different kinds of games. It's one of those that I'm like, oh, okay, it's this kind of game, but it works very well. And then my final runner-up is I have weird reasons why this game kind of bothers me, and I can't get into too much detail because you have just said that you have not finished the game. Banana.
Monkey, monkey, monkey.
The first half of this game is so well paced. It
Hmm.
gives you so many cool areas. The second half kind of made me mad because this game is so much better than Super Mario Odyssey, but it's also not as good in different
Hmm.
ways. I feel like the levels in the second half kind of are all like they feel like they're doing like the smaller scale, whereas like the whole first half was all these big like they should have the pacing of the levels should have been a little switched up, and they have a whole twist at the end, which pisses me off, and it's something that annoys me, and it's not that big of a deal because it's a fucking Donkey Kong game, but you'll figure it out. Um,
Because it's a Donkey Kong game.
But it's still fucking Donkey Kong. So yes, 2025. I think Eric just has this really ethereal power because I asked him end of December, "Hey Eric, I have a list of games that I really want to shoot for the channel. I need to figure out what it is." And I told him Routine, Sword of the Sea, and Skate Story. And he was like, and I was like, "Well, I really wanted to play something on PlayStation because I usually only do stuff on Xbox Game Pass." And he was just like, "Do Skate Story." Good decision.
I'm the reason why he has a game of the year.
Yes. So let me put into context a lot of things. Every year, Eric and I, it just is one of those things where you get to a position where you know what your game of the year is. It's something that speaks to you. It may be something that surprised you. It's maybe something that's a comfort game. It's something that is like you've played for a long time and there's so many different things and so many different stories. This year was none of that. This year was I was not like Eric and I have said, there was no game this year that I thought was like terrible, but I didn't have any game that I was like, this is amazing. Obviously, I think all these games I listed, I think are at least pretty good to not great. This was a game that had all the same qualities as Sword of the Sea, but I was more emotionally impacted by this game than I was Sword of the Sea. Skate Story has
Skateboards.
it has skateboards, and the
That's all you
story
need.
here is you play a demon, and the goal is you have to eat these moons. You're basically a skater made of glass. You're a demon. And there's actually kind of a cool thing where every time you like crash, like you shatter and you hear it, and like the camera shakes all over the place, which I've
Mhm.
done, not that much because I'm so good at the game. Uh but you go from it's a mission-based game, and the missions and the tricks are not as complicated as people probably think. It's very much a monotonous game where you have to do this thing to do this thing. You have to go here to go here. And the same thing with the tricks. It's not like you're playing Tony Hawk's Pro Skater where it's like you could do so many different things. It's very much general stuff you could do. However, the way that it's all built into the game is it's all built in with the story. As you play more of the story, you learn new tricks, you learn new things, you go to new areas, you get more stuff, and you're taking on this journey. And I think the realization hit me at least when I knew this was going to be close to my game of the year. When
Mhm.
some of the missions you're in an open world and you kind of go along the map and there's different things you can do. There's other missions where you go through like these gates and it's like a linear section where you go through a gate, then you go to a new linear section, go do tricks through a gate. I heard this thumping bass in my ear and I went, what the fuck is this? This music is fucking awesome. It's by I don't know if it's a group. I believe it's an artist. His name is Blood Cultures. And his new album was literally the soundtrack. He's promoting it as this is my
This
fourth new album or whatever. And it's for Skate Story. Um, and I
that
believe
ended up being your album of the year as well.
no, it's still Geese. Unfortunately, I still love that Geese album. But it was a situation where I'm like, oh, this like because it had the same feeling as Sword of the Sea, where I'm like, it's vibes. It's all vibes. But let me tell you, Devolver, as we've talked about before, which also put out Bollock's Pit, they may not even put out games that are like the best things of the year, but dude, they are so fucking good at picking games to publish because they just pick some of the weirdest shit, innovative shit, unique concepts. This was made by one single person, Sam Eng, and it literally is promoted that way. It's Skate Story by Sam Eng, and I don't. It's one of those games where if I were to talk about it, it would be very difficult for me to sort of talk about why I love it. It really is
Mhm.
one of those games where it just felt like it was doing some weird things that I was not expecting, and it was so just it was one of those games where I was just along for the ride, and it was something where I constantly wanted to keep playing it. And I didn't even find everything. There are so many things in my playthrough where I was like, oh, I want to do that when I come back. Oh, I want to do that. And every mission, for as realistically as basic of a game as it is, each mission is different. Every boss battle is not the same. Every level, it's like you have to gather all these things, or you have to do a certain amount of tricks to do this thing, or you have to go. Like, there's so many weird things that are introduced that don't come back until later in the game, but it always feels like everything has a purpose and a place. And again, I think it's a situation where this game is like the antithesis of like a skateboarding bro talking to you about skating. Like it feels like unironically like, yo, man, I'm just skating and yo, it's so
I'm
cool.
a demon that needs
Yeah,
to
I'm a
eat
demon made
moons.
of glass, man. Um, and it's again, it's nothing about it is meant to necessarily be overly complicated. It's more of just a game that you experience and it's the journey that you have. And every year it's different. Every year I'm always attracted to a new kind of game. And again, in a year where everybody talked about Claire Obscure Expedition 33, which is a game that I really like Eric said he would talk about it, so I will wait to say more of my opinions on it.
Hmm.
That was the game that everybody talked about. But realistically, it's a game that was actually kind of quaint. There's a lot to it, but it's not a game that will take you hundreds of hours to beat.
Hmm.
And that's what I liked about this year. And I think this is kind of a great example of that is where Skate Story it's nothing more than what it is, and yet what it is just mesmerizing, and it's so well done, and it's just a thing where don't go into it like it's a skating game. Go into it like it's a adventure with skating, because it's not like a game that you're going to be like doing the most crazy tricks. But as the game goes along, you learn new tricks, which then help you in the boss battles, which helps you in new challenges. You can unlock, like, you can buy new skateboards, and you can buy stickers for your board. Like, you can literally, I think there's a trophy where you have to have like 100 stickers on your board, so you just slap them all on there. But again, I think a lot of this is, it's not about what it is, it's about how it's doing it. And I'm telling you, that score is 50% of the reason why this game's so fucking good. Like, oh my God, it's like, there were times during my playthrough where I like shut up because I just remember playing it and that music hit, and I was just like, "Oh, cool." So yeah, Skate Story. Again, it's a very simple conversation of why I love it so much. Um, and I just thought of Eric while I was shooting it, because I was just like, wow. Because I was like, it was really going to be between Sword of the Sea or that. Because I was like, these were the two games where I'm like, I feel like these would be easy games to kind of just sit and vibe with. But then you said, I think you should do Skate Story. And I'm like, yeah, I don't have to shoot my footage. So
Exactly. Look at
that's
that.
good. I could just have all my multi parts for that. So yeah. And it came out late in the year. It was the last 2025 game I played. So, I mean, again, I'm not going to sit here and try and act like that's maybe not the reason why. Maybe it was a little bit of a, oh my God, this is much better than I think it is. But
It's the music.
it really, God, that score. And then, of course, it already came out. It was not, it's like a volume one. It was sold out. There's a red vinyl of it.
It's all over. My
It, it,
turn, my turn. All right. I've also got four runners up and then a game of the year, I guess. Uh, so my first runner up, I'm gonna have to give it to Split Fiction. I just think that it's creative as shit. I don't think the plot is like super creative, but I think that the worlds that they designed for and like just the different types of techniques. I love being a glizzy. I can't help myself, you know. Number four, Sonic Racing Cross Worlds. I genuinely think it's probably one of the best racers I've played. And that's saying a lot. We forgot to mention this when the Nintendo Switch 2 came out, but also Mario Kart World was the thing.
oh,
And
yeah.
we just fucking glazed over it. We literally, bought the Switch 2 so we could get that for free, and we haven't even played it. And I just really don't have a reason to play it unless I do have a friend that's like, I want to play it with you, and I'm like, all right, whatever. I just really like Sonic more. Plus, they're updating the game all the time. They're putting in free racers. Like, there's of course paid racers. You can play as SpongeBob for God's sakes in the game. So, you know, I guess that's a pro. But yeah, I just appreciate a really fun racer, and them consistently updating the game is always great as well. Number, I guess it'd be number three. Am I my third runner up? Um, all right, we can talk about it now, Brian. The Claire of Obscures. Uh, okay. So I played this game. I started this game back initially when it was came out around June. Well, it came out in April, but I played it initially around June because my someone that I ended up living with later on kept telling me about how this is the game of the year. This is the greatest thing. You love Persona 5, so this is a game you'd have to love, you know. And I'm gonna be honest, as someone who has played so many games similar to Clair Obscur, this is nothing really more so initiative. There are things that are different about it that I very much like see and I like, appreciate, and I think that the plot is very interesting. However, I've I have played games similar to it Um, it is very much just a, I wouldn't even say it's Eastern RPG because, it's not really the East because it's French. Because the West is Japan and the East, I guess, is America. But so what does that make Europe? Fucking Central RPG. Um, but there's very much things I like about it. I love the characters. I do and very much enjoy the plot until the third act kind of just drops the ball and is like, okay, there's one thing to do. Can you pad it out, or do you want to just do that thing right away? The parry system, I'm just bad at the game, but I do think it is interesting enough.
One of the greatest characters in games, though, this year.
Yeah, Iskie,
We
mi
love it.
amor. Um,
You brought up a really good point where like I don't think it's the developer's fault. It's very much an underdog story, but yes, this is one of those games where as someone who has only played one other RPG like this where it is clearly a lot more detailed and in depth, this is very much not as expansive as a Persona, but maybe that's a cool way for people who really like this to get into games like that because if they like
that's what I can appreciate the most out of it, is that, oh hey, you like this? We were inspired by these games. Go play those. Because I don't know if you saw on their website, um, all their employees on there, because it is a small team. As much as people like to say, "Oh, indie, you guys have like a big like publisher behind you." The team behind it is very small, of
yes.
like 30 something people, but they have listed all the games that like they love, and like clearly you can see those games that inspired them turned into this game, which is what you can ask for out of the gaming industry. At the end of the day, make something that you would want to play, and I think that's great. I just don't think it's the greatest thing of all time. Sorry.
Even though I'm not personally connected to it, the fact that they have had so many cultural things come out of it is like that's impressive for like just a random new game
Yep.
for people to be like, oh, it's this or it's like people know this now because they see the French clothing and all that stuff. Like they know it. Like it's connected to this game.
I think this game came out just to purposely make Charlie Cox become a gamer, also, because
Yeah, because everyone's berating him now.
literally no one gives a shit about him playing Daredevil. They said, Gustav, hey.
He's like, oh God.
Uh, yeah. I, at the end of the day, it is a great game. It's just not not game of the year to me,
Hmm.
for me. Uh, but number two, I think this will shock Brian a little bit because he was probably thinking this was going to be my game of the year for the longest time. Uh, Dispatch.
Well, now I know what it is.
Not I feel
I
like I
when
feel like
you
that's you
when you
every year.
told me why there before shooting, I went, there's two things it can be, and then you said one thing about one of them, and I said, nope, okay.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't want to mention it, but then it happens. It is Twilight for men. I can openly admit that. Um, I am an Invisigal guy over a blonde blazer. I hate to say it. Nothing against blonde blazer because I've platinumed the game, so I've seen everything. I know everything. You just wait till it comes out on Nintendo Switch 2,
Everything
and then you
over
can get the
that.
complete
Does
censored
Aaron
version.
Paul call someone a bitch in it? That's all I want to know.
Oh, he calls people more than just a bitch, but it's okay. You can play the Nintendo Switch 2 version. It's all censored. It doesn't matter.
Hmm.
No, no, genuinely, like I have always loved the Telltale games. I wouldn't say that they're all perfect in their own right, but they all have a special place in my heart. For to see that team, you know, because they had been working on The Wolf Among Us 2 for the longest time, and the new Telltale doesn't know what the fuck they're doing, so we'll never know when that game's coming out. So they said, fuck it, we'll just make our own game in the meantime. Made Dispatch, got this strong team of an interesting cast because you got people like Aaron Paul on it, and then you get like normal. Well, because they worked with Critical Role on this, so they were able to get Critical Role staff members on it, like Matt Mercer. They got Liam O'Brien, uh,
Or Bailey.
Laura Bailey, But then they said, "Fuck it, let's get a bunch of like obscure, not even obscure YouTubers, but just YouTubers and like uh uh, Young Gravy.
Yeah, Young Gravy, Moist
Yeah,
Critical.
Jacksepticeye. Yeah, just like random people, and they just all are fucking great in the game. The chemistry between the characters is interesting. Your choices actually play out throughout the plot. I'm a guy who played it all after all the episodes came out, so I wasn't on that like, oh my God, what's gonna happen next every week? Um, because I'm a fucking simpleton. I just wait for things to come out now. Like the gameplay, there's genuinely not much. I'll be honest. It's the dispatching. The dispatching is so much fun though, and it's so intricate and trying to send the right hero for the correct job, things like that. Once you play the game a couple times, you can kind of understand who to send. It kind of makes sense. But like it's just like, oh, that's cool. Let me figure out. Oh, there's a cat stuck in the tree. Which hero should I send? Oh, there's a whole like gun uh like hostage situation. Who should I send for that? Oh, there's diplomats between the sea people that I need to send someone out to so that the fucking ocean doesn't crash into the fucking city. There's little things like that. You gotta think about which one. And of course, the relationships you develop with the characters I think are great. Um, Overall, the reason why it's probably just not my game of the year, it's probably because there's a lack of gameplay. There's a lack of the telltale flair of what I missed the most of it was you used to be able to walk around in the world and talk to characters and their individual thoughts and things like that. You don't ever do that in this game. The choices just happen, your dialogue selections happen, and then the only time it stops to take a break is when you sit down to do dispatching. That's my only thing. I wish there was a little bit of room to like explore the environment and things like that. That's just me, and that's why it's not my game of the year. My game of the year, though, on the other hand, uh, I'm gonna be honest. It did kind of shock me. It was very much like, oh shit, I did not realize that I would have such an emotional connection to it as I did, especially knowing that like the original game I very much did enjoy, and it wasn't my game of the year that year.
See, I was gonna ask you that because I thought it was because I don't remember because your game of the year that year ended up being not last minute, but like it was definitely, oh, I think it's gonna be this. So I was shocked that you saying that because I thought that was your original game of the year until the actual game of the year you had was it.
Hades 2. Yeah, Hades 2. So, Supergiant, they said after the success of Hades 1, hey, we could do anything we want, you know. We could have done anything they wanted after Hades came out because of how big successful it was, you know. And they said, "We have an idea for a sequel." We all shouted, we all screamed. We're like, "Ah!" And then, it went into early access last year. And, I don't own a PC, like a good working PC. I have a laptop. I probably wouldn't run Hades 2 that well, gonna be honest. So, Nintendo Switch 2 got announced, and they announced that, hey, Hades 2 is coming to Nintendo Switch 2. Full game's coming out. That's great. Physical edition, too, on a game cartridge. Fuck game keys. And it also comes with the soundtrack as well. Like digital redemption for the soundtrack. Well, they did the same thing for the first game as well. Has a little instruction booklet. It's cute. I could pull it out. I'm a little lazy right now. Uh, but I jumped into Hades 2. Uh, and I got sucked in, Baron. I mean, it happened with the first game. I got sucked into the first game and very much was like, holy shit, you know, But my thing with this one was, I think I connected more with everything else, just better, you know. So you don't play as Zagreus this time around. You play as Manoli. Brian doesn't know too much about this game, so I'm not going to spoil too much about it. He's probably going to learn a little bit more because he has to look up the fucking shit for it. So um, I guess I'll talk about it a little bit like more in depth. But you are the daughter of Hades and Persephone. You know, after Zagreus brought them back together, um, they had a child, and Manelli. I'm probably saying that wrong, by the way, too. It looks weird, and when once you hear people say it, you kind of get it. But I'm very bad at fucking pronunciations in general. So, after she's born, uh, Kronos, fucking Hades' father, the father of like pretty much all the Greek gods, in a sense, uh, comes over and he takes over the house of Hades, and so you are snatched away by Hecate. Uh, And all your life, you've been trained by Hecate to fight Kronos to take back your household. And that's the whole rundown on why you're doing this whole passageway from the top of the world, right where Hades was at the final level of Hades 1. You are going down to the underworld and going backwards from Zagreus in a sense. But you're not going back to the same locations. You actually have to take different routes to go back, which I think was interesting and a great way of not having to reuse assets. Because there's maybe like a couple reused assets. There's one area for sure that you sometimes go to. There's actually two areas that you sometimes go to that are reused assets, but that's it, really. None of the character models are the same. Because I don't know if you knew this, Brian, but a lot of the character models they use are were 2D in Hades and converted to 3D in some ways. All these are 3D models in Hades too, so are all new. They didn't have to reuse assets. I think that's really cool. Uh, I think the combat, it's your traditional Hades style combat. However, I feel that they add more to it because Hecate is a witch. So she trains you to be a witch in a sense. So not only are you a god, but you're also a witch. You're a badass witch. So you have a little bit more abilities with that. You still have your boons, of course. The gods still come and assist you, and your mission is made clear to the gods right away. Instead of like Zagreus lying to the gods saying, "Hey, I'm trying to get up to see you guys," the mission is told to the gods right away. Oh shit, Kronos is back from the dead. Here, we can help you. But also, Kronos is fighting upstairs with the gods. So they're not able to fully assist you, and help you down there. So they send their boons. That's their reasoning. They give you excuses, They give you plot reasons why. The boss battles, I think, were very, very cool. Um, I'm the only one I will spoil. It's my favorite boss section. It's in the second area of the game, and it's my love, my sweet Skilla. Brian, we're talking about music and games. Because you're talking about Skate Story, how you love that soundtrack. I love the soundtrack to this game too. I think it's just as good as the first one. I can't wait to own it on vinyl. Brian Skilla, she is a siren and she has a band. And I think this boss battle is so inventive for what it does because you have a guitarist, you have Skilla on vocals, and you have a drummer. And your goal is to knock the band out. And when you do that, they play songs. And when you knock out, say, the guitar goes away from the song. So they've made it so that you're listening to the song and you're fighting and things like that. The instrumentals go away and you just hear the bass line going. Like, and it comes clearer and clearer. So like you'll knock Skilla out, the vocals go away, and you just get the instrumentals really busting. You hear Skilla a bit because she does hide in her shell because she's a, you know, you hit her a little too much, but she's gotta have the last laugh at the end of the fight. She is the last one you have to kill. But I think it was so inventive just to be like, oh hey, yeah, you did knock out the drums. The drum line should just disappear. So you just, and I think it's so cool and inventive. Also, she's just so funny of a character too, because she's a siren. Her whole gig is to lure sailors in so that she can fucking eat them. So for her to have a band and to have an audience and to captivate it is so cool. And I think she's just an interesting character to talk to. She's my favorite boss fight from the game. And that's saying a lot too, because I think that um, there isn't really a bad boss fight. Um, I was gonna make this joke too, by the way. I forgot to mention this to you. I was gonna say that my favorite game this year does have Ben Starr in it. Ben Starr
Mm.
is in this game. I don't want to spoil who he plays because I think his boss fight is really cool too. Especially because they have, like in Hades 1, they do have the antes,
Mm.
where you can raise the difficulty of your game. And they do have those additional levels for that. And I think his Ben Starr's characters, I'm not gonna say it because he does play a boss. His is so much cooler. Just because of how, like, oh my God, I just love the feeling. All the characters still have their developments, so even after the game is over, you still want to develop with the characters more, and you do that. I think Kronos is such an interesting bad guy. I think that he has his particular reasons on why he does the things he does. I mean, if you know Greek mythology, they fucking tore him to pieces and then threw his pieces throughout the underworld, so it makes sense on why he would strike the underworld. Um, I will say this though. I never played the game until more recently, December of 2025. That is a Lily Tale.
Yes.
Apparently, Brian, I never got to experience this, but they did change the ending after the game officially released. The ending was panned and they changed it. And I think that is ballsy of them to do. Now, I never got to experience that original ending, so I can't say how it feels. However, the original ending is out there online. You can watch it. And I think it is very interesting to see the changes that they did because they have it's not like they completely changed it. It's not like they said, okay, we're going to completely rewrite everything, redirect everything, and things like that. They just they changed beats to make it make more sense in a sense. It wasn't like Mass Effect 3 levels of, oh my God, we need to fix the ending. As coming from guys who like didn't really initially hate the ending of Mass Effect 3.
Mm.
Um, but I do think it is ballsy of them to admit that, to be like, oh, hey, let us tweak the ending so that it makes more sense, that it actually makes character motivations make more sense, and that Manelli, is the actual like, main character of the game. Let's make it so that she actually has impact on the ending, on why it would make sense for her to feel this way. And why other characters feel the ways that they do, because you develop relationships after the game ends and you learn things about characters and you're like, oh shit. And what makes sense on why they would act this way and things like that. So I give props to Supergiant for doing that. Um, but overall, you know, coming from the guy who has openly admitted that he's not like I always say I'm not the biggest roguelike guy, but maybe I'm just fucking lying to myself at the end of the day because I end up just really liking these games. But maybe it's just I like really like Hades. I just like the world, I like the development. I'm not the biggest Greek mythology guy. How about that? We'll say that, you know. My favorite God of Wars are the ones when they're not in fucking Greek mythology. Uh, but I just think that the world is really cool. I think what they do with upgrading from the first game is excellent. The characters are well more pushed thorough. I think that you have so many. Oh, and the weapons too. I genuinely think there's not a bad weapon in the game. There's weapons I don't like. Um, you get a scythe, and I think the scythe is not that great. I'm gonna be honest, personally. But I've seen playthroughs of people playing with the scythe and they just tear through it. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm just bad at the game. But generally, there's not a bad weapon in the game. There's just weapons that perform for it. The items you get from giving nectar out, you still get that stuff from this game. I think they're really interesting things that you can do. They have a whole like challenge system before the antes that you set up that you can level up to change your playthroughs earlier in the game, which I think is cool. Lily just fucking hates you. It just does so much. And I love the expansion of the world. I just love the development of these characters. I will say this, I hope there's not a Hades 3 because I do not know where I can see this going after this, to be fair. Because like I'm not saying that the Greek mythology mythos is over because I thought Malali was an original character that they made up. No, she's actually from Greek mythology. So I think that's cool that they didn't have to make up characters.
But also, it's one of those things where, like, for me, I feel like I've talked about this before. I've never played their PlayStation exclusive game that came out. Like, it's called like Transistor.
Mhm.
But I really like Bastion. So I feel like having that be a thing, it's like it would be cool to see what Supergiant can do now that they've had, Hades 1 and 2 under their belts to be like, okay, like let's see them do maybe something that's not a roguelike. Um, just because it's less of not wanting Hades 3 and more just like, okay, like it'd be interesting to see if you guys find something else that's different that you guys can make. Because I agree, I think Supergiant's a very good studio. Um, and they've sort of lived in this little like pocket of, yeah, like it's kind of like a Remedy thing where like, they've had success, but then it was like Control slash Hades, where it was like, oh yeah, this is the greatest thing ever. It's so great. It's so acclaimed, millions of dollars. Woo, woo, woo. And then it's like, okay, well, I guess we found something that can maybe we could do more of. Um, yeah, I'd be interested in seeing what Supergiant does. I'm waiting for the physical to come out once because I don't know how long. I would assume it's a
It's
year.
it's normally a year. That's what happened with the first game. Uh, Fun fact, I did went back and I played a round of Hades 1 after I played Hades 2 because I was just curious, and I'm not saying the gameplay feels off. I just am like this feels a little bit there's a reason to go back and play Hades 1 because of how the gameplay changes in a sense from Hades 2 to Hades 1 that it's like you have to play a little bit differently in a sense because Zagreus and Meloe are two different complete fighters, which I think is cool. You have an excuse to go back and playing that first one and have a reason to run through it. Not just because the plot is great and the gameplay is great of that first one, but also because the gameplay um, does feel different, which I think it's different in the same, at the same time. So you have the excuse and you have well enough reasons to try it out. Hades 2, baby. Hades 2, Electric Boogaloo. What was
Let,
your game of the year? Was
let us
it Clear Obscure Expedition 33? I won't be surprised if it is. And it isn't. Let us know in the comments down below.
know.
Do you love Ben Star as much as I do? Ben Star is pretty cool.
Yeah, let us know what your game of the year was. What are you looking forward to in this year, 2026?
You can check out all the rest of our Gotti videos. Check out our tier list from what, like a year or two ago?
Yeah, I was gonna say we've done two more GOTYcasts since that video has come out.
Hmm.
Um,
I'll tell you this, I think Hades 2 is better than my game of the year from last year, if that means anything to you.
I probably would say that my game from last year is better, but it's just because it just be and it's hard to compare them though, just
I
because
mean, to be fair, yeah, my two games are completely different from each other as well.
we're gonna figure things out. Like I said, this was gonna be the last video anyways before we kind of, we go back into the lab, figure things out.
We go back to hibernation.
Oh yeah, we go back.
It's the winter, it's cold.
Let us know how your early 2026 has been. And then yeah, if you want, you could check out my game of the year playthrough on channel BK. Um,
You can
Eric
check
has
out my game of the year playthrough on Channel PK as well.
you if you want.
Yeah, if you find it, you
Well,
gotta
shoot
find.
it really bad. Like you record it on your phone, but like have it like record your Switch like really badly, and I'll
Mhm.
just upload that.
Exactly.
Okay.
Toodaloo, folks.
Cool.